and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for this soap making video. Today I am doing a collaboration soap which is run by Renee over at Soaps for Love, and the theme for this quarter was Weather the Weather, and we had to make a soap that reflected our favourite sort of weather, and if possible we were meant to incorporate a technique or a swirl or something like that into the soap that we hadn't actually tried before. Now I have tried several different sort of techniques and swirls and things like that, and I couldn't think of one that I hadn't tried that fit in with my sort of weather theme, which was for rain. So I sat there thinking about it, and I thought there is actually one technique I have tried and it failed miserably, and that was in my coconut rain soap. I'll leave a link up in the corner so you can see how not to do this technique. But the idea is I wanted to create a cloud and make it look like there were raindrops coming out of it. So I was going to do that mini drop through my soap once it was all set up. You'll see what I mean as you watch the video. Now with this video I highly recommend watching it until you get through to the end, because I have a little surprise for you guys. Let's go and see how I make my Weather the Weather soap, which I will be calling Spring Showers. Let's go. Okay, so let's get this soap started as we always do. Now I'm going to do this in 2 steps because we are doing a sculptured layer. So I've actually got a total of about 2 kilos worth of soap, and I've split it off, so I have got 1.5 kilos in my bucket, and over on the side I have got another jug with about 500 grams. I've also split off my lye water, so we've got the appropriate amount to turn our oil into our soap. And I'm just pouring my lye water solution into the oil, and then we're going to mix this up before splitting it out for a couple of blue and grey colours. Happy with how that has come together for now. Let's just move that one out the way. First thing I'm going to do, I have got a little squeezy bottle here with some titanium dioxide in there. I am going to try and pour some in here without making a complete mess. I probably have way too much in there. Still probably too much for what I want to do, but it doesn't matter if I have a little bit over because we can use that in the top, but I still don't want to go too overboard. The next colour I'm going to pour off, I have got a little bit of Silver Lake in here, and again I really don't want too much of this. I just want that to be really wispy through our soap. And into this pot here I have some chambray blue, and these are all from my Micro Obsession. We're going to pour off a bit more of the chambray, maybe a little bit more to go in there. And then into the really big tub here I am going to put in some cobalt blue. And this is a really nice blue colour. So let's put a nice good dollop in there, because our fragrance oil does actually have 0.4% vanillin and says it does slightly discolour, but I'm hoping that all the other colours we've got in here will really help. I'm going to go get this mica off my hands. Alright, so now we've got the mica off our hands here. I'm going to get these colours mixed in. For my titanium dioxide, all I'm going to do is pop my lid on my squeezy bottle. I have kind of doctored the squeezy bottle. I have taken a pipette and I have attached that to the end because I wanted a longer spout on here. I'm going to give it a good shake. Hopefully the shaking motion is going to be enough to combine it, so I don't have to get the stick blender in there, because I want this to actually stay quite fluid on me. And then I'm going to get the stick blender in and blend up these other colours. Got our fragrance oil here, and today I'm using Northern Woods, which I got from the Fragrance Shed, and in the sort of behind the scenes video I did for this one, this fragrance oil behaved really well, so hoping it also plays well in my nice big batter here. It's always the case when you want it to play well, and you know it does, it never does, so let's hope it does play nicely for me. I need this to kind of go fluid so I can get my drop swirls in there, but I do need it to also set up so we can do our sculpting. So kind of want the best of both worlds here. Alright, so now that I've got my colours mixed in, what I'm going to do is just drop in my grey into this lighter blue. Then I'm going to do an in the pot in this bigger one. We'll save the rest of that back. We'll pour about half of that blue into our mould, and then we will pour the rest of this into that blue to get that in the pot swirl all the way through and up to the top layers. That jug is nicely cleaned out. Let's grab our mould over here, get our sides back up, and I'm going to start pouring this one in here. Hopefully those two blues are different enough. Get the rest of this in here. The sort of criteria behind doing this soap was if you could to try and include a technique that you've not done that suits in with the theme. Now for me, I couldn't actually think of a technique that I hadn't done that would actually fit in with this theme. So I thought, why not try and redo a technique that I've tried in the past and it didn't work. So if you watched my coconut rain soap, which was quite some time ago, and I'll leave a link up in the corner so you can check it out, this technique did not work for me because the coconut rain was a really, really naughty fragrance. What I'm going to try and do is create some little raindrops going through my soap, which is why I want my white in here to have stayed quite fluid. I'm thinking, no, we're going to go for it while this is fluid as well. So I've extended the tip of my bottle so I can actually pop that into the soap. It's in there, and now I'm going to squeeze as I drag my little bottle along here, and hopefully it's going to create a little mini drop. I'm going to go a bit deeper down with that raindrop in there, really hoping that this isn't too fluid, but we will find out when it comes time to cut this one. So I've done some that are quite deep. I'm going to do a couple that are maybe at different heights, keeping in mind I am going to sculpt this as well, so I really don't want them too high up, otherwise we might actually lose those drops. I'm also hoping this isn't so fluid that we don't get those drops in here. It looks like it's dragging that soap along. I am going to leave it at that and we'll see how it goes. This leftover soap in here, I'm just going to pop that in with the rest of the soap batter that we'll make in just a minute. But what I will first have to do is actually let this set up so we can do some sculpting on the top. I've left the soap to sit here for about 5 to 10 minutes, so it's now nice and firm, so we can start doing our sculptured layers. And what I have here are my soap shapers, and these are from Wickedly Goods, and this is the weather set. So I actually got the whole weather set. You got 4 of the cloud shapers, and then there were the little stamps to go in there. So if our raindrops don't work in there, I do have this little stamp to stamp some raindrops into it anyway. I've also got the little clips on the side here to help me guide my little shapers along. I've decided to go with this particular shaper. I really like this design on the cloud, which we're going to use to dip down into the blue, but you can also design them so once you've got your layer on the top, you could actually sculpt the white to make it look like clouds on the top there too. I also like this particular one because you've got the scallops on here, so you could use it as cloud or scallops, and then you've got the reverse down here as well. So this is a really nice little set to do. I can actually see that one being almost like a sun or a moon rising, so this is a really nice little set here. What I have done is I've already measured where I've got my clips, so I know how far down I want to go in here. And what I'm going to do is wait for that plane to pass on over. Alright, he seems to have gone. I'm going to start by putting my shaper in right at the end here, dipping it down onto those clips. Now the idea of the clips is you don't push down on them because they will pop off, but it does give you an idea of how you can actually keep your shaper nice and straight here. Now while I am pulling this along and shaping my clouds, I realized I forgot to tell you about the fragrance. So I did mention that the fragrance is called Northern Woods, and it's got the smell of pine or balsam pine with the slight scent of spiced cranberry. So I initially got this in as a Christmas fragrance to do, and I still probably will do a Christmas soap with it because I very sillily actually ordered 2 bottles of it. I didn't realize I had 2 in my cart, but luckily it is a nice fragrance. It plays really well. When I first smelt the fragrance, I was immediately taken to those really beautiful sort of summer rainy days. So you get the rainfall, and then you get that beautiful piney smell come up from out of the ground, and that is just what this fragrance actually reminded me of. So I thought that it was going to be perfect for doing this soap, because it's one of the things I really love about a rainy day is the smell that you get from all of the bushland from around here. And you do get that very piney smell, even though we have more along the lines of, say, eucalypts, you still get that very piney sort of smell from it. It's just to do with how the leaves are on the ground and getting all that wet moisture into them. To me, it's a really nice, calming, relaxing sort of smell, and that was just what this Northern Woods reminded me of. So I am scraping all of this leftover into these. These will become samples or maybe even giveaways. My local market is doing, they do a collection for a thing called Night Ninja, and they help people in our local area who are doing it tough living on the streets. They collect things like food and bath and body products. So I will probably even give some of these away to them, because it's always nice to have just that little bit of luxury in your life, no matter how tough you are doing it. So I figured that some of these sort of soaps will be perfect for giving away in that Night Ninja box. Let me get the rest of this actually pulled out of here, and then we'll move on to doing the top. Alright, so now that I have got all of that out, all I'm going to do with this is I'm going to leave it to one side. We'll just get most of that soap off of there. Going to leave it to one side, let the soap set up, and then I'll wash it with cold water. These are actually made with a biodegradable material, so they're not plastic, so they're not bad for the environment if you are buying lots of these shapers from Off Wickedly, but because they are a biodegradable product, you cannot put them through the dishwasher, and best not to use hot water with them either. So the simplest way to get them clean is to leave them to set up, and then you can actually wash that soap off. So I'm going to go and put this away, and then we're going to come and do the next part of this soap. So let's jump straight into doing the top here. So here's the remaining oils, just pouring in my lye water. We've got some titanium dioxide already in there because we want this to be nice white clouds. Just knock off that excess there. In fact, we might dip that in to get rid of the lye. We're going to give this a mix up. Right, now that I have got that mixed up, remember that white that we had left over, I am going to pour that in here because we don't want to waste any of the soap for now. Alright, so let me explain my little bit of colour choice here, because we're obviously doing a rain sort of weather soap, and most people associate rain with really dark, gloomy, grey days, but for us over here in Australia, especially as we're now actually in our spring season, we get a lot of what we call sun showers, and I'm sure other places get them as well. It's not just typical to Australia, but we get these things called sun showers, and you'll have this brilliant blue day with these really white clouds that have just these wisps of grey through them, and then it just starts raining, and it lasts for only a couple of minutes, but it's still such a bright blue sunny day and just these little wisps of rain coming through, and I love that sort of weather. There's just something about having sun showers, particularly in spring, but we do also get them throughout summer as well. Generally when we get the rain in winter, it does go really dark grey and overcast and gets really quite cold, but in summer it can be, or spring and summer, it can be just so pretty having these little sun showers. And that was the kind of the colour inspiration behind this soap. So because we still get a little bit of grey in the clouds even when we do the sun showers, I have just mixed up myself a tiny bit of grey to get some little bit of a drop swirl going through them. So let's now get this poured onto our blue base. So it looks like I have actually managed to perfectly calculate this one. Looks like I did take off exactly 500 grams worth of oil in that blue layer. So we have got the perfect size bar of soap here, or it goes in with what I usually do anyway. What I am going to do is leave this one to sit here until it's a lot firmer, and then we're going to come back and texture the top. Alright, so this has been sitting here for a little bit. I have contemplated putting the other sculpting through here to make the tops of the clouds, but I really don't want to lose any more of my soap off the top here, because I have somehow just managed to fluke getting that perfect amount of soap into my mold, so we get a full size bar of soap here and no extra wastage. So I'm just going to go with a very simple teaspoon top here. My spoon here is a stainless steel one, so we don't get any reaction to our soap. So I'm just going random on here. I want it to look like big peaks on top of my little clouds here. And then I have some little embeds to go on the top. Before I put my embeds on the top, I'm going to give this a really good sprinkle of some biodegradable glitter here, just so it gets that really nice, pretty shine to it. And then I'll go and grab my little embeds. So here are my embeds. Now if you watch the behind the scenes video, you will know that I did a little bit of a rookie mistake. I didn't really consider how deep the mold was when I was pouring my layers for the rainbow, and they were just way too wide to go in between all of my little markings here. So I had to sacrifice one of the colors, and I'm really sorry to everyone that likes red, but I sacrificed the red because I like purple. What I'm going to do is pop a rainbow on the top of each of these soaps. I'm going to have to go fairly slowly here. I'm going to also have to do a little bit of trimming while I'm doing it, just to make sure that we are going to fit all the way along here. My yellow's a little bit wonky now, but I do want all these pieces to fit on here. I'm going to have to use the single bar cutter to cut this one, just to make sure that we don't damage the rainbows when we go to cut. Let's squish that one in like that. Now I went with the rainbows on the top here because you can't have a sun shower without seeing rainbows in the sky. If you follow along with me on Instagram, you will often see when I have posted pictures of rainbows, because I think they're just such beautiful things. It fascinates me every time to see a rainbow, and I love it when you see the doubles and the reverse rainbows and all that sort of thing. So I'm quite often posting pictures of them on the on my little Instagram page there, so you can come and follow along if you want to see those. We are, as I said, into spring now, so we should be getting lots of little sun showers over the next couple of months here, so really looking forward to that. This winter, it's actually been quite a long winter. I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to being cold. I feel the cold terribly, so winter for me always feels really long. But the really weird thing here in Australia is that sometimes our winters are really short, and sometimes they're really long. So this year the cold weather actually hit quite early. I think it did actually start to hit in April, at the end of April, which is really early. You know, on Facebook you get your little memories pop up about things that you were doing in years before. Well, in May, there was one day I was sitting on my sofa. I was completely wrapped up. I had a blanket, I had my Ugg boots on, I had a big jumper on. The dog was all snuggled in as well. It was actually quite a cool night. It was when we were having a bit of a cold snap. And I was looking on Facebook and it popped up, and literally the year before I had been sitting on the sofa in shorts and t-shirt and the air conditioning on because it was such a hot day. And in fact, last year, I do body butters every winter, and last year we actually didn't bring the body butters out until almost the end of June because it was just too hot to bring them out. And then this year we have them out by May, so it has been a much longer winter for us here. So I am very much looking forward to some lovely warm weather. Kind of get all those muscles, stop them from aching, all the little joints and things. Yes, I am getting old. A lot of it is to actually do with the PCOS as well, why I feel the cold so much and how it actually affects me. It's quite funny. Older people often give me bottles and jars and say, can you open that? My hands just won't do it anymore. And they think because I'm, you know, a good 20 years younger than them that I can do it. And in winter, I just simply cannot open jars and bottles and things like that. It's actually, first time it happened, I was really worried, and I got sent off for all sorts of tests. And then we worked out it was just one of the effects of the PCOS, of the all the joints just seizing up in the cold weather. It's awful. So I'm very much looking forward to some warmer weather so I can stop aching all over and also see some of the beautiful spring life that comes out of it. The other reason I went for my sort of rain theme is that one thing I absolutely love about rain, and it's very much so here in Australia, you'd probably also see it in some of the desert areas over in the US and parts of like Asia and that. You can go months and months without rain and everything starts to look brown and looks like it's just dying, that there's no hope of getting it back. And then you get this sprinkle of rain. It can only be rain for maybe an hour on that day, and all of a sudden everything just comes back to life. It is just so nice to see that sort of thing. So I always love seeing the rain. This is what it is looking like so far. So we've got all those rainbows on there. I am going to try doing rainbows again in this way, and I will try and remember to use a mold that's a little bit shallower so we can get that red on there. But I am pretty happy with how that is looking. I'm going to leave it set up, and then we will come back in just a moment and we'll have a look to see if we have managed to get any raindrops in our sky. We are now ready to cut into our soap, and I'm really looking forward to getting cut into it to see if we have got any of the raindrops. I will be calling this one Spring Showers when it goes onto the website, and I'm using my single bar cutter to make sure I can cut down in between these rainbows without making too much damage to this one. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have a little bit of a surprise for you guys. We are doing a little mini giveaway, and what I have here is one of the Weather Shaper sets. This one here, this is the standard size that she does, unless you get them custom made. So the shapers are 7 centimeters across, but you can use them in other size molds as well. So what we have got, let's move those out of the way. We've got the 2 cloud shapers here. This one's also really good because you can do the scallops. We've got the set of stamps to go with them. We've got the raindrops and the little rainbow, and then we've got the little clips to help you guide that along your mold. Now, to go in for a chance to win this, there are a couple of conditions here. You have to leave a comment down below telling me what your favorite weather is and why. And we can only at this stage ship to the UK, the USA, to Canada, New Zealand, and of course within Australia. There is so many shipping restrictions at the moment, I just can't guarantee it's going to get through to any of the other countries. So I'm going to stick with those countries there. Now, I haven't forgotten about doing the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I am honestly waiting until we have got some better sort of news on our shipping to know that it is going to go through to more countries, so we can actually include more countries in that giveaway. So this is just a little mini giveaway until I can actually do the subscriber giveaway. I am hoping to do it before we get to 15,000 people, but we will have to wait and see. But for now, I've cut this one piece off here. Oh wow, look, we've got raindrops. That is awesome. Those raindrops are better than I thought. They're really nice and long. I can see we've got, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but there actually is wisps of that second lighter blue through there. And you've got those little bits of grey. Let's get the purple out of the cloud. I'll be able to tidy that up later. That has come up so good. It just looks like a little spring shower with the rainbow on the top. Oh, I'm really, really happy this one has turned out. Let's cut into the next one here. So as I said, I will do the subscriber giveaway as soon as I know we can actually start posting to other countries in the world, because we've got people here from all over the world actually following along, and I would feel bad to not be able to include you in a subscriber giveaway there. So keep watching this space for that one, and I'll be giving away some soaps and other products for that giveaway. I am so pleased that I have finally been able to do that and get the little raindrops in here. I was actually quite concerned that the raindrops weren't going to work, because when I finished the soap and I went to empty out the squeezy bottle, I squeezed the bottle to get it to come out and into the jug, and the top of the bottle actually fell off. So I thought that perhaps I hadn't squeezed enough white out to get the little droplets. So I am so super stoked that that has worked. I am still gutted that I don't have a lot of red. Some of them have got little pieces of red. Maybe that could just be the rainbow fading out. But I will try doing my rainbow again to get that sort of red effect on there. But I am still super, super happy. Really reflects how I feel about rain, about spring showers, and just how bright and cheery a spring shower can actually be. But we're actually going to cut off all of the purple off that rainbow. That was very badly placed on there. But I will actually just peel that off so it doesn't look too odd. And that is in. So you can see on this piece, you can see a lot more of that other blue coming through. It just looks like some extra wisps of cloud floating on underneath here. So before I actually sign off, I do want to say a big thank you to Renee for once again organising yet another great collaboration. She does such an awesome job. She runs the Facebook group, she organises, thinks of all the themes and everything else. So thank you, Renee, for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this. Also, what I had better do is give you a close date for this little giveaway as well. You have up until midnight on the 9th of September, Australian Eastern Standard Time, so that could actually be the 8th for some of you up in the Northern Hemisphere, to get your responses down below, and then I will do a drawing of that one next week. I'm trying to decide whether to put it in front of one of the videos I've already got lined up, or whether to do a live drawing of it. So let me know what you think I should actually do on that one. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made my spring showers soap as part of the weather soap collaboration. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave your comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye.